Here's 5 mistakes that cost landlords thousands and how to avoid them. I'm Jess.
I'm Adam.
We are forthelandlords.com. We help landlords start, scale and optimise, getting them more money, less hassle and their time back. Let's get into it.
Okay, so
mistakes that landlords make.
5 things that cost landlords thousands. The first one is the biggest one.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, they buy the wrong house.
Yeah.
And what I
Spend
mean
too
by
much on
that is, they don't buy the wrong house and it's a total wreck or something, and they just buy a house that's too nice in the wrong area and they pay too much for it. The sort of house they think they want to live in.
Yeah.
It's the most common one.
Yeah. You need to go snuffle around in the undergrowth to find a bargain house. Number one, so you're actually paying less than the house is worth, and it's got to be in a different area to where most landlords buy, and that's costing thousands because you spend £300,000 on the house or 150. It rents for pretty much the same
way
amount.
More on stamp duty, way more. Your solicitors charge you more because it's a high value purchase.
Stuff.
All the extra things,
all the extra stuff,
not
all the
just
hidden
the
stuff.
purchase price.
Yeah,
so that is one. That's
Number
costing landlords thousands.
Yep. Buy the
The
right
second
house.
one is related to once they've bought the wrong house, they then spend too much money getting it ready for the tenant, and they put a really, really nice kitchen in rather than just a nice kitchen, and they spend too much money on the bathroom, on they go to town on the tiles. Mosaic tiles that in a year's time are discontinued, and when one cracks in a year and a half's time, they don't really replace it.
Yeah, out of fashion.
Yeah.
They break quite a lot of the fancy fittings, if you like. They're not as durable as they need to be, and you find that they do break. We've all seen really nicely decked out, particularly HMOs. Really nicely decked out. You go in them a year later, and they're looking really tired.
Integrated appliances like the fridge, the freezer. They even in anyone's normal house, those things don't last.
Yeah.
But the second you've put any appliances in a house, you have to replace them. You have to repair them. So they do that.
Leave a hole where the washing machine and the fridge and the freezer goes. Let them bring their own. Most good tenants will bring their own anyway.
Yeah.
If you put one in there, quite often, I've got my own washing machine. Can you take your one out? Is a thing that happens sometimes. So spending too much on all that stuff. An unfurnished property will rent for longer. Yeah. Tenants will stay longer because it's unfurnished.
You've got to remember it's a rental property. Don't do it up to your own taste. And don't go spending thousands where you don't need to. The third thing is they put the wrong tenant in and they don't go through the proper referencing, credit checks and all that stuff that a proper agent would do.
Friend.
It's the worst one. The friend of a friend. It's the worst thing in any business.
I know
any
the
business. Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's another thing. Landlords forget that it is actually a business. You've bought a house, it's a business. It's about the only thing you can go to a bank and ask money for without a business plan.
Yeah, true.
It's mental. Yeah. They'll put a friend of a friend in, or the brother's mate. And you'll find a few years down the line, they're not a friend of your friend anymore. And they're not a friend to you because they're not paying your rent or they've trashed your house or something.
Yeah. Putting that person in the wrong way, so no referencing or not proper if you can't get rent and legal insurance on your referencing, it's not referencing. If you've just called some people, made some notes, checked Facebook, Googled them, that's not referencing. That's not referencing. No. Referencing is credit check, ID,
employment check, previous landlord check,
all those things. Right.
Open banking, you can actually see they can afford it.
Yeah, and if all that's absolute gobbledygook and you think, how on earth am I going to do that? Google referencing for tenants, use a reputable supplier, give your applicant their details, they'll go through the process. It's,
the biggest one for me actually
quid.
is the affordability, So some people are saying, oh no, they're great, they're a working couple, they're bringing in 60k a year, but what if they've got massive outgoings every month and lease cars and all sorts of stuff? Yeah, exactly. Can't actually afford the rent, really.
Yep.
And that'll be the first thing they stop paying. It won't be the Sky bill and their Mercedes lease. It'll be your rent that they don't pay first. So.
Then it's the thing that can get pushed out. It shouldn't be, Eating, roof over your head. That's how we think.
The reason that I've used that analogy is because it's one I saw. We actually were chasing some rent that was late from a tenant, and there was a really nice Mercedes car parked outside the house.
On a lease.
Yeah, and whether it was on a lease or not, I don't know, but it was their bloody car.
Yeah.
And if you can afford that, you can afford the rent.
Yeah.
The fourth thing is they don't do regular inspections, and they don't keep eyes on the house. Now, some people think it's intrusive or I shouldn't do that. You have to keep, for a number of reasons, Eyes on the house.
Eyes on the house. It'll cost you money. You'll spot that maintenance thing.
There's maintenance
too late.
thing, and
had it
I've been guilty of it before in the past.
I know you have recently.
The tenant was not using the back bedroom for whatever reason, and dumping ground like most people's back bedrooms, and there had been a roof leak in there. So there was, a few months worth of leak, and then you've got to redecorate, all that type of thing. Or they've moved some more people in, some friends in. They've sublet a room that's now an illegal HMO or something.
That's compliance problems.
Yeah.
Actually, allied to choosing the wrong tenant. When you put a tenant in, you've got to have the right to rent checks. You've got to check their immigration status. English passport, form of ID, then you can rent. Other forms of passports and ID, you've got a period that you need to check back up on.
Yeah.
If you've got, let's say, English passport, single mum, 2 kids, but when you go in, there's 5 sets of working boots, and hang on a minute, that happens. So they've sublet it. You are now responsible for potentially there could be illegals in the building. You wouldn't know, and it's £10,000 per person. It's recently gone up. It used to be 5, now it's 10, and it isn't an excuse to say I didn't know they were there. You have to check as a landlord. If you find them, you just report them to the Home Office. But that's a real cost.
Big time.
Other one is drugs grow, cannabis grow.
Yeah.
When should you do inspections? We like from day 1 to 3 months. So seems quite short. We get some landlords say,
month 3.
Why have you done it when you just moved in?
For that reason.
Who
else is living there?
Who else is living there? What are they doing properly? How have they moved in? And thereafter, every 6 months, so you can spot the roof leak and whatever. And never stop doing that. Somebody's been in there for 10 years. The temptation is to wind that back a bit, but that's when you don't spot the roof leak or the ivy growing.
Some people don't report these little things because they think they don't want to annoy you or whatever. But so that's the 4th thing, and the 5th thing is tax.
100% tax at the moment, costing
tax.
Thousands. If you got it wrong, if you've got your tax position right as a landlord, you're thinking, what on earth is he talking about? I'm buying a limited company, everything's fine, thank you very much. But if you own your property in your own personal name and you're paying Section 24 tax, if you've got the wrong house in the wrong area, you'll be losing significant amounts of money. They're the landlords that are selling up for good reason. They should be. Or move into a limited company. You can move a property from your personal name via a partnership to a limited company. If you Google it, there's lots of people say it's easy, lots of people say it's impossible, and everything in between. Just go get some proper advice. It's possible. It's more than possible. It's a time-trodden path. Personally, I went through it in my 20s. I had a shop that I opened by myself, then I got a partner, then I went limited. It's a business that's trading through its natural progression. So it's totally possible to do it. And as you hear that, you think it's not a trick, it's not a thing. So this is how the business is growing. But you just got to get proper advice, obviously get clearance from HMRC, do all those things. So if you're sat there paying too much tax, do something about it.
There we go. All right. So if you'd like to discuss any of those topics or anything else related to your property portfolio, or if you want to become a landlord, there's some links below. You can book a call with myself or one of my team. We've got an upcoming webinar coming up soon. You can join us on that. And please like and subscribe.
Bye for now.
All right. Cheers.